Hello everyone, it's Marisol with a little bit of soul. I just wanted to come out here and talk a little bit about my veggie garden area. This year, things are going to look a little bit different. I've been talking about wanting to make this area functional, but at the same time I want it to look pretty. It doesn't look too bad right now, but I really do want to make this area look a little bit better. And so my thought process is so right here, this is pretty much where the entrance to my veggie garden is. And so I'm thinking about so right now I have like lavender along here that I grew from seed with my winter sowing method that I did last year. So I have some lavender growing right here and also right here. And then I also planted 3 echinaceas right there. And then last year I had zinnias along this wall, which was very pretty, and I really enjoyed that. And then I'll take you to the back in a minute. But my thought process right now is that I want to make it look whimsical, just because it's my veggie garden and it's separate from like my main garden area, which is more closer to my house. And so I want this to look a little bit more rustic with like some little bits of whimsy. And I'm going to be starting a series called A Little Bit of Whimsy. So I'm going to be doing a few DIY projects that I'm going to start to add here and there in my veggie garden. So what I want to do is this is the entrance right here, and so I was thinking of extending this, because right now it's just like it's pretty much like cut right here, and then this is like a separate area. But what I'm thinking about doing this year is I'm going to be making a cut all the way around this, and then all the way around this right here, cutting it all the way here so that these can meet right here. And then I'll do the same thing over here. I'm gonna widen this a little bit more just to make it a little bit more and have this meet up with that. So this is pretty much where I had my tomatoes. It's looking a little bit messy just because once we had our first frost, I didn't really clean anything, so I just left everything in there. And currently I have a few plants. Let me get in there to show you. I have a few plants in here that I bought at the end of the season, and so I just overwintered them in here. And so I want to say about 10 plants in here. So I just put them in here just because I didn't know where I wanted to plant them. And so I have hyssop in here. I have strawberry plants in here. I have salvia, nepeta. I also have a hydrangea, which that one is right there, and it's right here. This is the tag right here. It's a bobo hydrangea, which I'm thinking about. I'll tell you in a minute when my thought process is in that one as well. But these are stuff that I put in here just because I didn't know where to put them yet. And I got this idea from another YouTuber called Jess. And she always buys clearance plants, and she really doesn't know where they're going to go just yet. So she overwinters them in her veggie beds. And so I decided to do the same thing. And then you can see there's like little scraps and stuff, just because I just throw all my all my scraps in here. And then in the in, you know, in the spring when it's time to clean my beds, I'll just push it all in. It, you know, there's like eggshells in there, potato peels, leaves, stuff like that, and it'll just eventually break down. It won't break down like right away, it'll just break down slowly, but eventually it will break down, and it will break down into good soil. So that's what I decided to do. So this is usually where I plant my lettuces, right here. And then last year I planted some beets along as well, and I never like really harvested them. So they're still there, and once the soil thaws out a little bit, I'm going to harvest them to see if they're any good. I think they'll be good. I think they'll be okay. And I also had corn along this row. And over here I have, this is like my strawberry patch right here. And then this year, what I'm planning on doing is, just because last year it was a bit messy, I didn't really mulch it or anything like that. So this year I'm planning on either using straw or something else to keep this area right here, which is, there's like 4 rows of strawberries right here. And so I'm going to keep it a little bit more tidier so that it doesn't look a hot mess. And not only that, but also so that the fruit doesn't get eaten by too many bugs, just because they won't be laying down in the soil. Last year's harvest wasn't that great. I mean, I got a few good harvests, but they could have been better if I was a little bit more diligent about keeping this area a little bit more clean and keeping the berries off the ground a little bit. So this year I'm planning on doing that. I also want to do like a little border right here, just to define. I'll show you. Let me push back. Let me go back a little bit, sorry. I also want to put like this right here a little bit more defined, and I'll be putting a border right here. I don't know what kind of border just yet, but just make it a little bit more refined. And I also want to put in this, these are my walkways. This is pretty much the walkways that I use, and I think this year either put mulch on the ground or put gravel. I'm not really sure yet. Tell me what you would use. Would you use mulch, or would you put gravel in the pathways? And so I'm going to pan it more inside over here. This is usually the spot where I plant peas. I plant my peas right here. And then last year I also planted some in the back of here. And I also had Swiss chard right here. And I really enjoy Swiss chard, which I'm going to be doing more of that. And then usually this will be for another type of green, either kale or spinach. And then over here I had carrots and a melon plant that could trellis up this right here. And then I also had carrots right there. And so over here, I'm just going to pan this way. These are my three galvanized fire pit tubs that I got at Tractor Supply, and I'll tell you what I used those for last year. So another thing that I'm going to be doing is, this tree is coming down. It's an ash borer tree. Well, it's an ash tree, and it every year just deteriorates a little bit every year, just because it has borers in it really bad. So this tree is going to go down, and so this is good. Like I said, this is going to get extended to meet with the other bed, and my thought process is to take this tree down and maybe put my bobo right there, and then plants along it. So I'm just thinking, I'm just trying to think of what kind of plants I can put there, just to make it look a little bit more whimsical. So I'm doing a little bit of research. I have a few plants in mind, and I'll explain it to you once I have like everything in order. So these are the fire pit tubs that I have. They're galvanized, and last year I had peppers in here. And since I'm going to be growing a lot more peppers, I'm going to grow peppers in here. And then I'm going to also use this bed right here for more peppers. And then this small bed, I'm not going to be doing a lot of tomatoes this year. So this bed will be perfect for the tomatoes that I'm going to be using. There's this area right here. all this open space, and I usually put my squash in here. And I also want to put some green beans. This one is going to be for my onion bed this year. And then this one right here is where my garlic is currently. And you pan it, I'm going to pan it in, and you can see I have a whole bunch of little shoots. And you pan and see I have a whole bunch of little shoots in here. And so, you know, we've gotten some warmer temperatures, and they've pretty much have come up, but they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're like tulip bulbs. So you plant them in the fall and then you harvest them in the summer. And then I also want to extend this. So this is all meeting up together. This is where I had my potatoes, and I grew them in those grow bags. But I think this year I'm going to be growing them in the ground to see if I get a better harvest, just because I got a decent harvest, but I think if I put them in the ground, they'll do better. And then I think I'm going to extend it out a little bit also. Make it, instead of 2 feet, make it maybe 4 feet out, just so that I have more gardening space. And then right here, like I said, is where I planted zinnias. And I think I'm going to leave this the way it is. It's about 2 feet out from where the gate is. And just because my father-in-law does mow he mows the grass, and I don't want him to get, if I extend it out more than what I have it out right now, he might roll over my plants, and I really don't want that, because I am very protective of all my plants, and I would be very upset if something happened to one of them. So this is a little tour of my veggie garden. Let me know what you guys would do in this space. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great day.